Let's check the umpires this afternoon. Number 19, Gavin Dorr. 22, Stuart Whitten. And Adrian Panozzo, number 23. There's Adrian. Gavin's got the ball. Terry, hello.
Dennis, how are you? And the scene is set for a great game of football here this afternoon.
And you're fitting in like the furniture. Used to be the Western Oval, now the Whitten Oval. Away we go. There's the bounce to start proceedings, and Burton goes up, knocks it down. This is Johnson, smothered off the boot by Abraham, socket off the ground by Edwards towards the outer side. Barker leads in the race out there, picks it up, he's claimed, spills, and now Norris is away. He's on the wing, he comes down towards half forward, and Mann. Now Fremantle going with their 3 emergencies. They're in the team. This is Abraham running down towards the 50. Sends it towards the pocket. Bandy's the target. Paxman, all the 4s. It falls behind. Wills was there. And they'll bring it away as the kick comes across from Clayton. Nicely done out towards half back. Rombotis has got the ball. Meters in the clear. Gets the hand pass across to Holmes. Holmes on the wing. Slipped over. Now he's got a problem. Back to Rombotis. Nicely done. Carter feeds it wide. Barker back inside. Pike with Pike. Gets by Burton, kicks down towards half forward. It's a floater. Packed at the fall of the ball, off hands. Dwire's over it. He's claimed. Kickett's in there. And we'll have a ball up. So Godden, Rowe and Edwards in the team this afternoon for the Dockers.
And the Dockers open very nicely, moving up into the breeze. Ball now centre half forward for Fitzroy. Kicking to right of screen. Ball flicked over the back now. Dwire's the front position. Couldn't handle Fitzroy now to Rombotis. Open goal. First one for the day. John Rombotis playing in the centre. Has got it.
Really, Terry, when the ball's delivered to Rombotis as well as it was then, there's not much the defenders can do about it to stop what's going to happen. Great goal.
They've been impressive just in this opening stage, Fitzroy, with the speed of hand. And as we see, Holmes right in the contest, but Dwire just keeping the ball alive. And then the quick feed by Dent. Rombotis, ever the runner, was able to finish it off. So Fitzroy opened the account. First goal with the breeze. Burton in ruck. Bandy is open in the forward line. Primus, Fitzroy ruckman gets it down, then recovers his own ball. Carter in from the wing, couldn't handle it. He click it, kick it from half back, coming through on the run now, making as much ground as he possibly can, trying to carry the ball all the way. Couldn't get through the Fitzroy defence. And now it's left Malloy at half-back to be able to clean it up, and Fitzroy break it away.
Clayton to McCarthy, forward of half-back, a probing kick down towards half-forward. Boyd, awkward half-volley. Hines knocks it away from him towards the boundary line, and she spills across. David Hines starting in defence this afternoon. He started in attack last week. So boundary throw in, left half forward. Pleasant day at the Whitten Oval. Burton knocks it down. A lot of body work in there, off the ground again by Burton. Abraham, who's been busy, has a bounce. A second bounce, carries him down towards half forward. This is ambitious. Goes to Waterhouse. Waterhouse about 60 metres out to Wills. Now, can he kick a goal from here? Kicks from 40, bends it back way too far. Bounces out of bounds in the opposite pocket. And really, that's been a problem for Andrew Wills since arriving from Geelong. He hasn't been able to finish. They expected him to kick goals. He hasn't been able to do that.
Forward pocket. Boundary throw in. Bandy in front, couldn't control it. Paxman gets it down. Fitzroy went aggressive in at the ball. One of their stronger players, Pike, couldn't handle on that occasion. Barker comes in strongly. Plenty of pressure there. Combination of Fremantle attack, wanting to hold the ball in there, and Fitzroy defence being extremely strong. Frank Pizzotto really found a niche now on the Fitzroy side. Mann clears the area, looking for Abraham. Toya is the rover in front here, now running back onto the ball. Couldn't quite take it away in the Fitzroy defence, off the ground, out into space. It's Malloy looking for support from Bamford. He's there, but right up there by Scotty Edwards.
Great tap on by Jared Malloy then, Terry. It was just unfortunate that it was trapped after that, but a good attempt.
So Bamford in his debut season for Fitzroy, playing all games to date, down at ground level. Hawking couldn't handle it. The ball now out with Norwich in a little bit of space and in short. Found Gary Durkay. Durkay some 60 metres from goal. Not a good kick into the forward line. Bandy taken as soon as he gained possession of it. Spilling through the tackling. Strong here from the Fitzroy defence. No one able to get it clear just at the moment. Still Fitzroy trying through handballs. A string of 3 or 4. And now they're out through the running towards the half-forward line. Boyd couldn't handle it. Off the ground by Hines. Boundary throwing, this time half-back flank.
Been an interesting matchup, that one, Terry, between Hines and Brad Johnson. Brad Boyd, sorry.
Thrown in front. Burton knocks it down. Like a Union line-out. Johnson brandishing the ball but going nowhere. Now something's been said. No, it's all to do with blood. Rombotis about to come off, is he? Here's Gavin Dorr telling him to get lost. Well, not quite get lost, but there you go. Oh, that's a nasty one. That is a nasty one. I think on the scalp, running down behind the ear there. So here's the bounce, left half forward, over the top Burton. This is Hawking, across half back, normally a good kick. This is no exception for space near the middle. Coming to meet the ball down there is Kickett. Was he held without it? Yes, he was eventually. He'll get the free. Interesting, only 3 players have made more hand passes than Dale Kickett in the competition this season. And it's an illustrious group headed by Craig Lambert. Ball comes across to Abraham. He got it from Chisholm. Harvey is next. And Hocking is next. A rarefied air of hand passes in the AFL. Here's Malloy, shovels the hand pass away. And they bring it out. The kick not particularly effective. Dent working overtime. Barker keen to make amends, but not quick enough. Toya to Waterhouse off the 50. A very high one down towards the pocket. Mann slipped over. Hunter was up in front. Bandy there as well. Will's behind. He'll make me eat my words. You watch. That's a great goal.
That was a much more difficult goal than the earlier attempt by Wills then. Dennis, it was a curly one on his wrong side, but certainly a great effort.
So Andrew Wills picks up his first goal for the afternoon and certainly looking to improve upon that. 2 goals in any one game has been his best return to date this season. So back to the centre now. Andrew Wills with Shane Clayton. And the 2 big men once again back at it. Waters gets his first clearing kick out of the centre bounce. Crucial area in which he'll have to work for the entire afternoon. Bizzotto at half-back. Taken under by the force of the Fremantle attack there. And the ball held up at half-back. Players all converging around this ball up. Primus in the front position. Brings it out towards the back. And again, the hands of Fitzroy looking to find space. Holmes able to free them up and away they go through Johnson. Kick not good enough at all. Hines in front of Boyd had it covered, but it's Jones on the charge. Running through. Handball over the top to Edwards. Edwards another one further under Waters. Jones on the follow through. Looks for but ignores Waterhouse. Instead goes long, but outnumbered Fitzroy. And John Barker had no problem whatsoever in outmarking Luke Toya. He now elects to play on. Looks towards the outer side here at the Whitten Oval. Wills is the interceptor. Takes it on his non-preferred left. Brings it around. Oh, Malloy been very good. He's opened the game in extremely good form at centre half back. And now chips in short where Fitzroy once again looked to generate the run.
Pike to McCarthy. Boots down towards half forward. The Dockers queue up, but they fooled themselves. Boyd gets it away. Morton swings it out wide, intended for Dwire. Over the top, Jones fisting towards the boundary. Wide of the pack, though, a chance for Clayton. A hand pass to Bamford, 45 metres out. He's a class player. Can't pull it back far enough this time. And the behind. Good young player. North Adelaide. 4th man taken, I think, in the 95 draft. Now Scotty Chisholm. Swings it out wide. It needed to be good, and it was. Kickett's got it at left half back. The kick had to be precise. He was one of 4 players there. 3 of them were Lions. He goes short. Waterhouse. Well, he tried not to let it bounce. Now he's got a problem. Played it pretty well. And again, hasn't got the ball. Gavin Doyle rewards him. Good decision.
Just played it carefully, didn't he, Dennis? Didn't take possession, just waited for the tackler to do it.
So Waterhouse from half-back for Fremantle. Along the boundary line, Mann interfering there with McCarthy. McCarthy's free kick.
Johnny McCarthy in for his 150th game. That'll be an interesting matchup on Peter Mann.
He also goes back along the boundary line, but straight back to Kickett. Kickett controlling half-back here for Fremantle. Takes the run, 2 bounces. Looks for support, has found it through the big men running out of defence from Fremantle, but it's turned over. Johnson now pushes wide. Boyd, who's playing at half forward, can't cut the ball off here now. And Chisholm, the pace of Chisholm allows him to get back. And Fremantle all structured up across the member side. Jones now, 1 bounce. Again, trying to push the ball up into this quite a strong breeze, but again, not far enough for Mann. And the second interference in a row by Peter Mann. This one quite a bit more physical, John.
Yeah, that one didn't look good. Maybe a little bit of frustration creeping into Peter Mann's game because Johnny McCarthy's certainly playing him fairly close. He's the key Fremantle forward, so looks as though they're calling for a stretcher.
Yes, he unfortunately does look to be in trouble.
And he's a very tough customer too, Darren Holmes. It'd take a lot to stop him, but obviously you can't defend yourself against that. He was coming back with a flight of the ball and, as always, did not flinch.
If he's unable to take further part in the game, Dennis, I'll certainly miss him because he's been in great form.
That was a nasty one. So the stretcher is out. And at the present time, it's Fitzroy by a point, 1-1 to a goal. They've been very careful with Holmes. As you saw, it was to the back of the head. And he's saying he's okay. Well, he's far from that.
The difficulty Fremantle are having is that they just can't get the ball up into the breeze here, and the breeze holding that ball up more than what Peter Mann initially could judge, and then his late run at it. And Holmes with tremendous courage backing back into the contest.
It's always a difficult one when you're set like that, isn't it, Terry? I mean, he knows that players are coming from behind him, but he's still got to stay there to contest the ball.
So John McCarthy now will take the resultant free kick. He himself wearing a head guard this week, just returning after a fractured cheekbone. Play now resumes, and the ball is fed back inside to John Barker, pushing towards centre half forward. A mountain of players. Malloy down from half back, feeds the ball off. Pike also down from half back. So a lot of aggressive run there from Fitzroy, the centre half back and the half back flanker, all pushing down the ground to be involved, and ultimately forcing the ball over the boundary line, some 30 metres around from the Fitzroy goal. Burton over the back, the left hand. Boyd gathers, feed back. Bamford again inside. Pike can't handle it, gets up out of it somehow though, but Fremantle able to regather it. Bamford now with pace. Comes around, pushes it out towards the open side. The scoring side for Fitzroy. Mark unable to be completed by Mellington, and Fremantle clear. Waterhouse, one hand, and awarded the free kick. Interference in the marking contest.
Waterhouse up from half-back, decides to run away. Second bounce through midfield. Kicks a fair way to the outer side, intended for Wills, who reaches over Clayton, knocks it to the ground, socket off the ground by Edwards inside the 50. Bizzotto comes up to meet it full-bloodedly, hasn't got the ball. No free kick. Mann claims one and will have a ball up. Well, Bizzotto attacked that one and probably deserved the free. Didn't take it, just knocked it in front. Umpire throws it up. Mann appeared to be held. Morton, nicely done. Dent on the outer side, goes in short. This is Johnson. He's at left half back. The Dockers again starting slowly, although of course they're working to the breeze today. Johnson around the outer side. Burton over the top towards the boundary line. Abraham runs a long way and then gives it away. Straight to Bamford. He comes in short to Pike, who's enjoying a very good season.
Pushing now in towards centre half back, looking for the space. Malloy creating it at that position for him. Now continues the switch towards the members' side. Boyd in the front position, pursued by Kickett. Keeps the ball alive. Leach in close quarters. Toya, Bandy, bang in towards centre half forward. Mann is now the target. One-handed. Durkay at ground level. Tosses it over the top. Kingsley Hunter running in inside the 10-yard square. Bang, his first goal. Kingsley Hunter, well done.
Just unfortunate. Jared Malloy lost his footing then and was unable to really put any pressure on the player kicking the ball. It was just unfortunate the way it panned out. The ground's obviously a little wet because players are struggling to hold their feet.
So Kingsley Hunter picks up his first goal here. Playing just 3 games last year without a goal, but previously a full forward with Claremont. First goal in AFL football. So Fitzroy looking to force forward now through the half-forward line, but Chisholm once again, best player for Fremantle over the last 2 weeks, pushes out wide. Abraham. Rombotis back on the ground after receiving a heavy knock. Short to Hines. Back inside. Abraham left foot, looks for and finds man right on the boundary line. And there are plenty of Fitzroy supporters there prepared to give their opinion of his style of play. And very reluctant to give the ball back personally to him. Man on the wing. Long kick inside 50. Fremantle in the front position, but numbers Fitzroy's way, and again the quick hands from half-back down towards Carter. Couldn't handle it there. Waterhouse is the Fremantle player to be in control. Leach now coming through, hands again, ball free towards Abrahams, with Simon Hawking pushing back again. Sure hands, this time a slight fumble, but Fitzroy again, good defence, pushing it towards the wing.
Primus, missed by Waterhouse, recovers, still has a problem or two. Bamford couldn't control it. Still Bamford works. Norrish over the top of him. Chisholm stood his ground, slipping over Waterhouse. They're going in solidly. Carter was dragged down. At the base of all of that is Bamford. And we've got a whistle. A lot of crowd involvement. Tossed up by the umpire. Bandy and Primus. Primus clean possession. Carter nicely done to Dent. Runs through the wing, pulls it back towards centre half forward. Storming up the ground is Mellington. He's taken the mark about 55 metres out. Bacon goal square, thought about it. Now, with the breeze behind him, he's normally a pretty good kick. Here's the ball coming in against quality opposition. Tony Millington sends it on its way. It finds those extra 10 metres. It's a goal.
Perfect kick by Matthew Dent to Anthony Mellington, then Dennis. It was right to the head of the 50-metre line and gave Mellington an opportunity to kick his first goal for the game after having kicked 2 last week in what ended up a fairly low score.
So Fitzroy move on to 2-1. Fremantle 2 goals straight. Primus and Bandy and Ruck down to Waters again. Clears through the centre bounce area. Over the top of Hunter. And Malloy strong at centre half-back. Continually looking towards this member stand side. Finds Nick Carter on the wing. Long now towards half-forward. Pushing and shoveling. Chisholm outmarked. Barker extremely strong in that contest. Now directing play in towards centre half-forward. Good work. Primus giving them the target. The umpire doesn't award the mark. Dockers now around the ball. Edwards forcing it forward himself. Handballs now follows on. Has gained a break over Dent. Wills is the teammate he looks for. Pressure from Clayton. Wills the experienced player. Clayton only a few games under his belt, but stays right there with him. Toya joins the party and locks it all up. John Primus clear front position in front of the Fremantle defence.
Obviously called play on because Paxman touched the ball first. Yeah, tough call.
So umpire Panozzo attempts to bounce the ball in the soft conditions. It favours McCarthy, whose handball across the front of the goal is dangerous. Pike's there to assist. McCarthy comes back to aid him. And the handball exchange let down a little bit, but Bizzotto's good enough to clean it up himself and set Rombotis on his way towards centre half forward.
Very high kick. Chisholm in from the side. Meantime, Johnson went down. He's going to get a free kick. Probably took the mark of the season last week. Not many there to see it. Off disabled, but soared above his teammate Andrew Primus, or Matthew Primus rather. So Johnson just checking the mark. He'll go close. From right on the 50. It's another one. Long-range Lions at the present time.
Fremantle probably a little bit conscious of Johnson on that occasion. Dennis, he was just bustled out of the way in an effort to get rid of him so he couldn't contest the mark, but even though Scotty Chisholm just bustled out of the way to allow Chisholm to take the mark, clear free kick to Johnson, and he kicks his first goal for the day after having kicked one last week.
So Fitzroy, their third goal through Chris Johnson. The Dockers looking to clear their third consecutive centre bounce area, and this time just through punching and forcing it forward. Abraham runs onto, unable to take it. Back comes Durkee, Mann on the left foot. Can he reply for the Dockers? No, he can't, as the ball drifts across. And just one behind of Peter Mann. I think he's in for quite a long afternoon, John, in terms of the crowd support here, Peter Mann.
Yeah, they'll certainly remember that that clash in the first quarter. It didn't look good on the video.
Fitzroy back inside again, using the ball short, looking to create the runner, and this time it was Pike down to the wing position. Plenty of pressure there, and Cassidy for Fitzroy happy to see the ball over the boundary line. Cassidy formerly on the Fremantle list last year. An injury-interrupted season for him. Primus right hand down, but Norris feeds out towards the centre of the ground. Kick at his target, couldn't take the ball, has given away the free kick. Bamford wastes no time, pushes towards Cassidy, the left footer. His kick finds Hawking. Fitzroy moving well forward now. Hawking, a good long kick, pushed it right into the square. Mellington's there, and he'll take the mark or the free. The umpire will give. He's awarded the mark, John, because therefore there can be no advantage given.
Well, he can't call advantage when he's awarded the mark, Terry. That would be the reason the mark has been paid. He can only award advantage if it's a free kick. So he's obviously awarded the mark, so the mark has to stand.
So there it is. Johnson could very well have picked up his second, but the umpire has awarded that Anthony Mellington will have his opportunity to kick his second. Straight in front. There it is. Mellington's second, Fitzroy's fourth.
That was a perfect kick into the forward line to allow Millington to contest that one. They kicked it long so he could contest it at the back of the pack. Would have been much more difficult if he'd been leading because there was fairly heavy traffic at centre half forward. So, yeah, wise moving by the Fitzroy team to get it down to the back at Millington.
So the Lions coming with his surge. Anthony Millington missed some opportunities last week against the Blues. Got the ball quite a few times early in the game. He was coming off 9 the previous week in the reserves. 3 goals in the last 6 minutes for Fitzroy. In a sense of deja vu for Dockers fans, similar thing happened at Footy Park against Adelaide last Sunday. They held the line for most of the opening term into the breeze and then gave away some late goals. Down goes Waterhouse. Away comes Jones, running up through the centre. Tony Jones swings it out wide. Abraham's in front, worked out of it though by Frank Bizzotto, who wanted it most, and then he proceeds to push it across the boundary line. So plenty of goals in the last few minutes. We've got 6 in the game. Almost as many people kicking goals in this game as watching it. It's thrown in. knocked down in front, but those that are here are making a lot of noise. Barker at the second attempt fed it out nicely. And they work it forward. Rombotis, he got it from Carter, sells a few dummies and kicks down towards half forward. Intended for Dent, but he's outmarked by Hines. Hines left half back. Back to midfield. Toya waits. That's a mistake. In from the side. The mark is held by Cassidy. Alongside the centre circle. Goes in short. This is Morton. Just forward of the wing. 4-1 plays 2-1. Opening quarter. Morton across the ground. Not really the place for it. Although Mellington, why wouldn't you go to him?
That was aggressive, wasn't it? It was always going to be his mark.
That was terrific. So Mellington will kick from about 60 metres out.
He's really made something from nothing there, hasn't he? He was out of position to contest the mark in the first place, but he's just run ferociously at it and made a contest of it and ended up taking a great mark.
He likes a long run when kicking. He's back near the centre circle.
He's got a long kick as well, Dennis.
Yeah, that last one cleared by about 5 metres. Hit the fence on the full, so this will really test him. He goes for it again. And it falls about those 5 metres short, but it's marked by a Lion down there, just a couple of metres out. Play on's the call. Barker was flattened and the ball ricochets off a defender and goes across the boundary line.
The umpire signalling the ball was touched there, Dennis, but obviously the players were late to hear the call because there were a fair few players in the vicinity and crowd noise was pretty loud, so it took a while for the players to realise that touch had been called.
And the umpire intervenes once again. This time awards the free kick to Daniel Bandy. He looks to the outer side, pushes out there, pressure on Hines there from Mellington, gathers it up, Hawking the left footer, drives it in, too wide to the left.
O'Reilly copped a nasty one too. Mellington coming across hard on him. There's plenty of pain. I would think it's a knee. Just where it got him, I'm not sure.
So Chisholm now bringing the ball back in. Bandy inside. Edwards to the run of Leach. One bounce. This looks better for Fremantle. They need more numbers around the ball. Pushes out wide. Good defence there. Pushed down. Ridley was all caught out. And Paxman quite prepared now to turn it back his team's way. Barker finding space on the wing, pushes it across, and Dent doing quite a bit of work across half forward. Bamford has come down from the wing, just outside 50. Has a ping at it, but again, drifting across. Really not the percentages shot from out there, John, with the way the wind's blowing.
No, although the wind is strong, Terry, they're still getting more of the footy, Fitzroy, aren't they? So, I mean, it's certainly not just the wind that's causing the domination of Fitzroy in this first quarter.
Rombotis, as if he offered the lead. Scotty Chisholm, straight to him.
Almost looked as though Frank Rombotis was waiting for that one. I think he sort of half expected them to go short and was ready to pounce when appropriate.
Now Stephen O'Reilly is coming off. Brad Rowe's coming on. Obviously Rowe won't play full back. He goes to the forward line. Meantime, Rombotis has got another one.
They're making the most of their opportunities here. Kicking goals from 40 and 50 metres out, and certainly their kicking has been very accurate to date given the wind conditions. So yeah, we're in for a good game of footy.
So Rombotis getting his second goal. Mellington 2 and Johnson 1 are the goal kickers for Fitzroy, and Wills and Kingsley Hunter 2 goal kickers for Fremantle Dockers. Primus and Bandy. Primus pushes wide this time, but Leach is the defender, forces it back in. Carter stepping through the travel, pushes out wide. Chisholm at half-back. Kicks again and again, not all that well from Scotty Chisholm. Waters caught in the tackle from Bamford. Hawking forces it forward. Fitzroy really applying the pressure to Fremantle. Just a few signs of a little bit of a crack in the armoury of Fremantle here under this pressure, John.
Scotty Chisholm's kick just demonstrated that Fremantle have been instructed to kick the ball low into the wind, and a few of the players are having difficulty with that, and some of them are just dribbling along the ground off the boot. But 5-3 Fitzroy to 2-1 Fremantle, and certainly can't attribute that score difference to purely the wind, because Fitzroy have had more of the ball. Fremantle seem to be struggling a little bit with the conditions in that, you know, the wind is favouring one end fairly strongly, and they're just finding that a little bit tough.
Yes. So Fremantle with the job ahead of them now. Spirits are rising in that camp. The Lions cock a hoop after a very good opening term. If you think back to the victory last year that the Dockers had on this ground against Fitzroy, it was set up by a brilliant opening term, their best since they've entered the competition. Not so this afternoon. 5-3, 2-1. Start of the second term, and Fitzroy 5-3, Fremantle 2-1. Primus and Burton taps it down. Dwire, nicely done, robustly through the pack and swings it out wide. Cassidy goes back. Oh, terrific grab. The one-hander. He's about 60 metres out, sets it up down towards full forward. Ridley is there, almost the mark on his chest. Mellington comes again. Mellington out towards half forward, gives away about 25 metres, but was taken high. He's getting the free kick. Now Mellington featured with a couple of very long kicks in the opening term. If he goes for distance here, it will tell us about the breeze. In fact, he keeps it low towards the pocket, says something about the breeze anyway. Intended for Barker, and Edwards comes across, and it will be reversed, will it? No. A hint of a reversal.
Just letting the players know, Dennis.
As it should be, John. Here comes the kick from Edwards out towards the boundary. Mann. Crowd don't like him. It's out of bounds. We'll have a boundary throw in. Interesting in the first term, John, we saw the umpires tossing it up, and then on one occasion one umpire tried to bounce it. They would tell the players what they're going to do there too? Yes,
they would, Dennis. They'd let them know, because otherwise it's difficult for the players to time their run, because they don't know how high the ball's going to go.
Fitzroy looking to work it away through the back. Dent taken too high by Abraham, and he receives the free kick. Coming short into the breeze. Bamford, the wingman. 6 possessions in the opening quarter. Now playing the members' side. Very stagnant into the forward line of Fitzroy, into the breeze, to the true centre half forward position, but again interference. Caught behind Fitzroy in the free kick against Cassidy. Fremantle now looking to open it up, and through Burton on the wing. Away he goes. His handball couldn't clear Pike to kick it. Forced on now Waterhouse, but Pike staying in the contest. Waterhouse breaks away. Half forward, a long kick from 55 out threateningly, but forced across the line, but just the one behind. And we've certainly got an indication of the breeze there. Waterhouse from some 55 metres out. Just a snapshot, and Fitzroy with concentrated efforts, hardly able to make 30 metres into it. Malloy wide, looking for Carter. And Carter, having played his 3rd game. Bendigo under 18s. High, ball held up into the breeze. Hines from behind, 2 or 3 goes. Umpire calls play on, feeds towards Burton. He can't handle it, and that allows Morton at ground level with the pressure and the free kick. Carter's in amongst it again.
Pretty hard for a bloke as tall as Burton to tackle him any other way. He's so much taller than most of the opposition players. It's hard to make it a legitimate one.
Johnson's the flyer. The spill comes down to Dwire. Rombotis couldn't handle it there. Pressure from Chisholm. Ball spilled. Ball tied up. Umpires.
Chisholm's hurt, so is Rombotis. Had a tough day, John.
Tough year for him. Concussion here in round 2, actually, in a head clash with Darren Jarman.
That's very well played by Scott Chisholm. He didn't buy the balk or the hand pass away, went straight at the body. Both of them are paying the price now.
Blood again, Dennis, and he certainly looks groggy, doesn't he?
Yeah. And Chisholm hit his shoulder, no question about that. Watch it again. He tries to sell a dummy here, and Chisholm, having none of it, went straight at the man, which is fair enough. John's doing an inventory as to what hurts, pointing at his head. He was terrific last week against Carlton. Emerging young player.
So he's been very good all year. Been most impressive. 4 games last year, a bit of a struggle for him, but has really found a niche in the centre of the ground for Fitzroy.
Averaging 19 possessions a game in a struggling team. Not easy in the midfield. Matthew Burton. Birthday boy this weekend. There's the bounce, up he goes, reaches over the top. Primus has got it though. Held to him.
There's a heap of them around this ball, Dennis.
Matthew Primus. He's going to be a very good player as well. Had a lot of publicity in the pre-season, but he's living up to it. Knocks it down. Norrish hits it on. This is McGregor. The hand pass wide of the target. Backing up though is Dwire. Swings it wider still. This is Barker, forward of the wing. Kicks inside the 50. Jones goes back, and that's a good grab in the circumstances.
One of the very good defenders for Fremantle. Jones pushes wide to Edwards. Edwards into the team today from the emergency list. 3 changes to the Dockers side. He goes short still. Hines now still on the defensive half of Fremantle. Norrish gives him something short still. They've made it to the wing.
Surprising they're not prepared to kick it long with the wind, isn't it? It's, I mean, the wind is certainly favouring right of screen, so you'd think that it's the wiser kick.
Burton's the target. Couldn't take it, and outmarked there by Malloy. There'd be a huge centimetre difference in that contest. Malloy with superior judgment. Now looking for the runner. He's given it to Bamford. He pushes up Hawkins, the front position. Out bodies Hines. Hines back well, though. Norrish there to clean up. Heavy work from Jones behind in the blocking. Chisholm, your heights. Taken by Cassidy. Ball free. Pike paddles. Dwire feeds. Bamford runs. Props. Goes long and high. It's all Ridley. All Ridley. Mellington caught behind. Ridley left foot, and away go the Dockers.
Waterhouse has been better this afternoon. He's at left half back. Kick it, breaking down the ground for him. This will be interesting. Kick it. If this ball runs on, the Dockers are in. Here's a chance. Durkee down towards half forward. Pops it inside the 50 and finds Wills. Now, from what we've seen, the distance is gettable. Although more difficult here, working back into the breeze slightly. He kicked a very good goal in the opening term. They need this one, the Dockers. They're down 5-3 to 2-2. Andrew Wills, 55 metres out, sets it on its way. Across the face, that ball held its line very well, too well. The behind.
So Andrew Wills now 8 goals, 7 for the season. 1 goal, 1 for this afternoon. Malloy in short to Clayton. One of the rookies in the side, 1 of 3 for Fitzroy to Dent. Shorter, Waterhouse working hard, up and tackling again. He wants to put the pressure on Fitzroy, but Fitzroy through Carter by an extra 50 metres towards half forward. Barker couldn't handle the ball. Coming back into Morton inside. Barker's there with him, but Leach, consummate professional at half back, cleans up, pushes down. Dent's a spoiler. Durkee buying that little bit of time. Mann, left foot toss in. Burton's the target. Will he go on? Yes, 45 metres out from goal. Wobbles it. O'Reilly. O'Reilly injured in the first quarter. Time on the bench. He's come back now to fill the full forward position. Looking for his first goal for the season. Not an unusual call on the fullback from the Fremantle Dockers. Very deliberate. He's got it. Goal 1 for Stephen O'Reilly.
Steve O'Reilly's probably enjoying his stay at that end of the ground, but I think the kick from Matthew Burton was probably, well, as you called it, Terry, it was a bit of a wobbler off the boot, but Steve O'Reilly's got his... See Peter Mann kicking the ball into Burton and then Burton playing on immediately. It could have been intentional, but certainly for the fullback at Fremantle, he's kicked his first goal for the day.
John Rombotis back on the ground. Big cheer as he came back. Rushed into the centre square when the centre umpire had the ball. managed to get out in time, I think. As Johnson kicks it down towards half forward, Hines is in the road, well shepherded by Edwards, comes out to Mann. It's a clever footballer, Mann, engineering that last goal. He kicks inside the 50. Spider is up. Durkay, who's been busy in the last few minutes, and he's kicked blanket at that time. Rowe put the body in and is penalised. It's going to be a free kick, I think, to Barker down there.
Yeah, well called, Dennis. I mean, his prime objective certainly wasn't to contest the ball. It was to get rid of Johnny Barker, and he's paid the price with a free kick awarded to Barker.
So Barker at centre-half back. Watch it again. There's Rowe. Little nudge. Well, he's fighting out of his division. What can he do? There's Paxman on the burst, coming up the ground. Kicking towards the wing. Hawking came hard at the ball. It spills down in front. Bizzotto, can he keep it in? It pitches just inside the field of play and is taken across by Cassidy. In fact, that clearing kick came from Malloy. And now we've got a boundary throw in.
So Fremantle, the goal-scoring side for this first quarter through Stephen O'Reilly. Now Fitzroy's opportunity at half forward. Ball held in close. All players trying to free it. This time it's Cassidy. He's found the space to Carter on the left foot. High towards centre half forward. The contest is there. Morton's at ground level, trying to keep it going. Chisholm cleans up for Freeman. Goes to the line. It's all okay, says the umpire. And the boundary umpire will have to do it again.
Pretty lucky there, Terry. I mean, Scotty Chisholm's intention then certainly seemed to put the ball over the line.
What's the general giveable distance for that deliberate one, John?
It's not so much the distance, it's what you're doing, the sole objective of the player was. And obviously, if he's really close and he just hammers it over the line.
And Mickey Dwire coming through, wobbles it through.
Mickey Dwire's turned out to be a bit of a goal sneak in this Fitzroy side. I mean, that was a great goal from nothing. And the Fitzroy players seem pretty content with the result. It's one against the wind, so it's a bit of a bonus for them.
There's plenty of pressure in there. It's been a bit of a quality of Fitzroy here this afternoon, is that they've been prepared to put a lot of pressure in the contest. Ball spilling free, and Dwire there. 10 years with St Kilda, now Fitzroy with goal. So back in the centre, Fitzroy extending the lead now to 3 goals. And here they come again through Chris Johnson. Long in towards a half-forward line. Ridley superior judgment taking the mark. Switches play towards Mann on the members' side. McCarthy gives the pressure. Edwards at ground level. McCarthy following up. Gets a free kick. Yes, he does. McCarthy returning to the side for his 150th game. After suffering a fractured jaw. Looking for Mellington, flies, couldn't handle it. Pressure from Ridley. Ridley at ground level. Pushes out wide, leeches the runner. Probably his regulation bounce. And the kick finds Durkay. Another feed. Leach to the wing position now. To half forward. Plenty of space in this forward line, looking for the tall players. It's Riley in the front position. But again, the Fitzroy defence standing strong, and the spoil forces the ball over the boundary line. Forward pocket for Fremantle.
Well worked that down the ground by the Dockers. Hanging onto the ball and demanding something from their teammates. They need a goal though, down 6-3 to 3-3. Bizzotto overran the ball. Johnson could have been taken high. Will he get the free kick? A lot of helicopters around the Whitten Oval this afternoon. It's like playing footy in the DMZ. Away comes Pike. Goes in short. Paxman's got it. Up towards half back. High one. From behind Chisholm, big leap down in front. Edwards throws it on the boot. Back towards half forward. Fitzroy players. Well, they needed the marking practice. McCarthy a chance. Dragged down there was Clayton. Coming away, Mann. He fumbled. It comes back to him. Gets the second chance and makes the most of it. Waters across the ground from behind Hunter. Dwire tried to knock it away. A Fitzroy player was held down there. No free kick. Pike. Malloy should have got one and didn't. It comes out as far as Waterhouse, who sends it back in. Hunter off his step about 40 metres out, bends it back. Bizzotto gets back, takes the mark, They've got the numbers to this side of the ground. If he can carry Edwards, and he does, it comes to Dent. He's at left half back now. Dent's away. Watts on up the ground. He kicks for distance. 2-on-1 for the Dockers. Primus does pretty well. Needs it out of bounds. Still Primus goes. Well, Chisholm obviously didn't do the counting there. They had 2-on-1 and Chisholm headed for the boundary. We've got a throw in.
So the big fella, Matthew Primus, working to keep the ball alive there. Can sense his side doing very well and throws himself right back into the fray again. Umpire Gavin Dorr into ball the ball up, indicating he'll throw it up again. Does so. Burton does the work against Primus and gives the free kick away. Primus to Rombotis. Rombotis back to Primus. They're in trouble now. Johnson's in there, back to Rombotis. That's 4, that's 5. Primus, I reckon you should kick it, son, and he does. Hawkins his target, can't gather it in the centre of the ground. Leach gives just enough pressure there. Hawkins stays up, receives, left foot, tosses out wide. The bounce is all for Fitzroy, the advantage given. Cassidy feeds inside. Carter pushes forward. Mellington's in front, takes it. Fitzroy's working close has been very impressive. Their hands are sharp, receiving the ball in clean takes, being prepared to give it on again. The end result of this one, of the long kick from Carter, is that Mellington in front of Ridley takes the mark and will shoot for his 3rd goal. Mellington, 2 goals for last week. 2 straight to this stage today. Make it 3 straight.
Well, Mellington kicks his 3rd, but I really felt sorry for Todd Ridley then, because it was just the flight of the ball that beat him in the end. The wind took the ball to the front of the contest, and Mellington just happened to be there ready to take the mark above his head. But it was difficult for Todd Ridley, because I really think he did everything right to make a contest of it, but the flight of the ball with the wind just made it too hard for him in the end.
So the margin is 4 goals. Testing time for the Dockers now. Can Fitzroy win their first of their 22nd try? The ball goes towards the outer side. Pike heads for the boundary line, and you get the feeling, of course, that once they get a sniff, they'll be very hard to put back in their box.
And I think they may have the sniff, Dennis. They've been very committed in this opening half.
Certainly their supporters have got the sniff. There's the throw in. Bandy. Let it come down behind. Primus runs away. Advantage is played, and the big man has a bounce to Johnson. Johnson running down towards half-foot, pulls it back towards the middle. Jones comes to meet it. He's in trouble. Dragged down from behind by Millington. Good pressure. Hawkins over the top. A couple of Dockers collided on the outer side, so they're a couple short. Hines slow to get up. Primus, meantime, was taken high. There's the collision. Ooh, clash of heads there. Meantime, ball towards the kickoff line. Ridley's mark. Good one.
Good coaching work, John. You got him into the front position on that occasion.
It's a great mark.
So Ridley now relieving the pressure. Pushing out wide. Hines supports him with a very good mark, and away goes the big man. Centre half forwards where he's going. Hunter couldn't take what perhaps he should have. McCarthy cleaning up there for Fitzroy. Pike's taken. The tackle there from Durkay ties it all up. And umpire Gavin Dorr takes the ball to ball it up.
Amazing attempt to mark there by Kingsley Hunter. The hands were waiting for the ball to arrive for far too long.
Bandy gets it down. Primus does the roving though. His handball doesn't find the target. From Hunter to Waters, the left foot. Pressure here now on the Fitzroy defence. Can they mount the numbers? And they can. Bizzotto, the left foot, pushes out towards the wing. Dent leads the race. He'll take the line, and so he does.
Frank Bizzotto's second effort then was great. I mean, he was the player that spoilt the marking contest in the first place and then regained his footing to take the handball and clear the ball from the back line.
So Matthew Dent, 7 kicks, 1 handball at this stage of the game. Primus controlling the ruck around the ground. Went to Rombotis, but it's been turned back over to Fremantle initially. Now through Fitzroy. Carter now to Rombotis. Rombotis hawking. Carter continuing on into the forward line. Fitzroy defence. Pushing through there comes Johnson, Banford. Fitzroy have got the chance through. Morton can't take it. Hawking comes in to join him. Fitzroy probably lost the opportunity that they had constructed there through some very good run. Carter giving them plenty as he comes off the wing regularly.
Well, 5-2 is looking very good at the moment. 7-3, 3-3. Norris dragged off a kick. Chisholm wrestles Morton to the ground. And have the ball up just inside the attacking 50 for the Lions, who are doing most of the attacking. Good to see. Fitzroy, after so long in the wilderness, flexing their muscle. Can they go on from here? Primus knocks it down brilliantly. Dwire just inside the boundary line pulls it back. Ridley defending stoutly. Todd Ridley. Not much happening. Now he spots Bandy. No, he doesn't. He goes short towards the pocket instead to Hines. Bandy still calling for the ball in the centre square, but Hines goes short to Jones. Now they need some depth. Toyer is on towards the middle, still in short though. Waters has it, surrounded. Feeds it out wide, back to Hines. Hines running up towards the wing. Now he kicks it down towards half forward. Edwards knocked it away from O'Reilly. It didn't work out too well for them. Carter to Barker. Hawking goes long down towards half forward. Kick it from behind. Almost the clever mark. Morton, was he held? Not according to the umpire. This is Dent dragged off it. Kept it going. Pike shrugs off a tackler inside the 50. It bounces down towards full forward. Chisholm slipped over. Ridley behind, surrounded, but gets away. Nicely done. Ridley still going. Well, here's trouble. Leach dragged down, socket out of there, hacked out of there by Chisholm in desperation. Rombotis approaches the ball, but not as quickly as Waters, who slips it away to Jones. They were lucky to get away there. Toyer, well, he wants to go back and try again. Luke Toyer swings it out wide towards half forward. O'Reilly. McCarthy intent on destruction. Socket off the ground by Waterhouse. Loose ball down towards half forward. Paxman comes up to meet it for the Lions.
Taking the pressure off, but not very, very well. Over the line, out of bounds on the full. The Docker player there in the hands of the trains. It looks like O'Reilly again. Ball comes inside. There it is, a collision there. Waterhouse being the charger and takes out his own teammate. Meanwhile, back at centre half forward, Bandy takes the ball, feeds to Norris just inside 50, gives it the air it requires. Is the accuracy there? Not enough from Jason Norris. O'Reilly up. Looking for Clive Waterhouse to perhaps give him a gobful, I'm not sure. McCarthy takes the kick in. Prepared just to keep possession of the ball here. Out wide to Clayton. Clayton looking for support. The ball short of Paxman. Fremantle now have the opportunity. Norris is the one to get clear. An inside out handball, not accurate. Dent at half back. He finds the time and space to push out wide. Unable to be handled cleanly by Johnson. Hawking gives the support. Bamford gives the freedom and away he goes. One bounce inside Dwire. Runs on, right on 50. Vacant square, will it carry? No need. Barker. Very good work along the wing. Hawking, Johnson kept the ball alive. Banford provides the run. Dwire well positioned at the true centre half forward position. And now Barker. From 1 metre out. Goals.
I think regardless of whether Johnny Barker had taken that mark or not, I think Mickey Dwyer's kick probably would have ended up being a goal. As you called it, Terry, the hard work around the wing paid off, with the ball eventually ending up in the hands of Mick Dwyer and a precision kick to Johnny Barker in the goal square.
Fitzroy have done well up into the breeze. 69 handballs to Fitzroy, 42 to Fremantle. So Fitzroy now 3 goals in the second quarter. 8 to this stage of the game and 3 to Fremantle. Dent strong across half-back. McCarthy enjoying his 150th game. Feeds inside. Bamford's been the star of the quarter. The kick's a beauty. He's the man at the moment, Bamford. Mellington goes on. Dwire providing a target in the forward pocket. Outnumbered, but not outwilled. He comes back again. Edwards uses his right foot towards the wing. Will's looking to meet the ball. Can't take it cleanly. Pressure on him from Clayton was illegal. Free kick. Will's defensive side of the centre for Fremantle.
2 minutes to half-time. Andrew Wills comes down towards half-forward. The Lions have kicked 6 of the last 8 goals in this game. Rowe goes to ground. O'Reilly had it, then lost it. Toyer at the base of that pack. Pizzotto on top of him. The Dockers digging themselves a very deep hole right here. 8-3-3-4. One down by McCarthy. Toyer stood his ground of Waters from about 60 metres out. Can they muster a late goal? It floats down towards full forward. Missed down there by Paxman. He leads back in the race, heading for the boundary line. O'Reilly kept it in. Hunter about 3 metres in from the line. Decides to snap. Brilliantly blanketed by Malloy. Now Malloy runs around the boundary. Kicks towards the outer side half-back flank and bounces it out.
That's fantastic work by Jared Malloy then, Dennis, because he came back to help Paxman cover Steve O'Reilly and make it a 2-on-1 contest, and then they've ended up clearing the ball almost all the way to the wing.
Yes, the adrenaline is pumping for these Fitzroy players at the present time. Coming off a tough week. Primus wrestled to the ground by Toyer. He'll have a bounce. Primus not happy. He copped one. It's just cool enough to make those sting. Very similar in appearance to Christian Leitner, basketballer in the NBA that some people are probably familiar with. Toyer, everyone shakes their head. Durkee kicks back inside the 50. Low down Rowe. Now this is a very important kick. Brad Rowe struggling to get a regular game and dogged by injury. A classy little player and likes kicking a goal, and the Dockers desperately need one here after their 4th. Margin currently at 29 points. This to pull it back to 23 if it's a goal. Rowe. No. Tugs it left. Behind.
So Brad Rowe really should have made better of that opportunity.
I think if he'd made a little bit more of it, Terry certainly would have done his confidence a lot of good. He's having a quiet day so far.
This man isn't. Martin Pike really controlling the play for Fitzroy across up Hawking. The big left mitt, up it goes. Now he used the left foot. Chisholm in front of Dwire, couldn't handle it overhead. And the siren and the Fitzroy supporters rise as one. Very happy with their side's performance there. 3 goals into the breeze. Why one of the key players up into that quite stiff northerly breeze. Primus has given everything in the ruck. Fremantle just the 1 goal through a makeshift full forward in Stephen O'Reilly. Fitzroy very, very happy with the situation at this stage, John.
David Hines is actually limping off, Terry. I'd be surprised if he came back after half-time. He certainly seemed to have trouble for the last 2 or 3 minutes of that quarter, so physio's talking to him at the moment.
John Rombotis, 11 possessions. Bamford very good on the wing there, giving run.
Johnny Barker, 10 possessions. I mean, there's a lot of feeling within that Fitzroy group at the moment. They're enjoying the atmosphere. If they've got a chance, it's certainly today.
So at half-time, Fitzroy lead 8-3-51. Fremantle 3-5-23.
Yes, welcome back. Both sides back on the ground. Very important second half for both these clubs for varying reasons as we go down to Neil Curley. Neil?
Yeah, thanks, Dennis. It's amazing down here walking among the faithful Fitzroy supporters just how exuberant they are. They're just so happy and quietly confident their team is going to win their first game for quite some time. You know, some of the dear old followers on the bench, they're just so excited. You know, you think they're preparing for a premiership, but I don't know what sort of magic Gerard Neesham can perform at half-time, because his side just looks down and out. There's no confidence, there's no run, there's no enthusiasm, whereas on the other hand, we've seen Fitzroy at quarter-time and half-time very close together as a team, and I'd expect them to go right on and win this match pretty comfortably.
Thanks, Neil. Start of the second half then. Primus goes up and knocks it down, and immediately Rombotis out of the centre, down towards half forward, and Fitzroy pick up where they left off. Here comes Chisholm, handling it out of defence. Left it behind though, hawking a half chance. He was dragged down. Morton slides in. Jones grabs him and will have a ball up just outside the attacking 50 for Fitzroy. They lead 8-3 to 3-5. Some late goals in the opening term setting up their lead, and they've been very good since. Barker in trouble, arching the back, nowhere to go. Morton kicks it very high. They'll contest just outside the 50. O'Reilly spikes it, gains about 20 metres, gets it across the boundary line, so a throw in. Yes, just moving amongst a couple of their supporters during that last break. They're very, very anxious. I've got to say, not overconfident.
Well, here's their team's opportunity at half forward. Johnson, the quick kick. Cassidy gathers, but taken straight away by Toy, and a strong tackle, and the umpire awards him. Umpire Gavin Dorr adjudicating that Cassidy had the prior opportunity to dispose of the ball before young Luke Toya took the tackle. Goes up towards centre wing, Waterhouse in front. Really, the Dockers need to move the ball a little bit quicker than what they're doing now. And this is a terrible kick from Waterhouse. Terrible kick. Hawking very happy to receive it right in front of goal, some 80 metres out. Takes it in, Mellington behind, push out.
Unlike the umpire, we can have another look at this one. Yeah, it's a tough call. I mean, Millington clearly pushes him with the left arm and then takes the mark. 2 actions.
So Fremantle away now. Norwich at half back towards the wing position. Edwards tucks it under the arm and runs through half forward now. The kick looking for Hunter, carries to him, couldn't take it. Gathers again at ground level. Back to Mann, a right foot towards the top of the square. The wind just drifting it across. And Mann picks up his second behind for the afternoon. Jared Malloy been very good in defence. So 9 possessions he's gathered in general play. Nick Carter towards the wing position. Hawking provides the contest. Waters knocks it on down. Jones, first player there for Fremantle. Paxman joins him, but both players allowed to go over the boundary line. On the true wing position at the Whitten Oval, outer side. Fitzroy kicking with the breeze in this third term. Kicked 5 goals with it in the first. Fremantle just the 1 when they had their turn in the second. Ball being brought back now by Gavin Dorr, really controlling the game. John Barker towards centre forward, towards Mellington. He's clear this time. No doubt whatsoever in that contest. A good 2 metres clear. Moves in, goes long and hard towards Johnson. Probably a disappointment there was no one in front of him for him to climb upon. Chris Johnson. Perhaps a little nonchalantly, but he's dropped through his second.
Well, Johnny Barker's kick to Mellington was perfect, and then Mellington almost thought that he could make the distance, so he sunk a long one into the goal square, and Johnson's done the rest. He's a magical player on his day, isn't he, Chris Johnson? He really can do some very special things. Fitzroy move on to 9-3-57 and Fremantle 3-6-24. So they're still taking full advantage of kicking with the breeze again at the start of this third quarter.
Well, we made the point at the start of the day. Their last win was on the 20th of May last season, round 8, against the Adelaide Crows at Footy Park. They're about to celebrate this anniversary unless the Dockers can find something special here as the kick comes down inside the 50. Back after it goes Rowe. Bizzotto Shepherd's coming through and held without the ball as Malloy, and he'll get the free kick.
Malloy's really been special on the back line. As Terry said, he's picked up a lot of possessions in general play back there, and each time they rebound the ball, Malloy seems to be somewhere involved.
9-3, 3-6. Malloy towards the wing. Johnson worked under the ball. Waters cleverly gets it away. This is Edwards. Forward of the wing. The short one is on to Waterhouse. Down towards left half forward. 2 men down the ground just outside the 50. But I think Waterhouse will have learnt from his last lesson and kick safely. He does that inside the 50, and a great mark almost completed down there by a Rowe. Toyer waiting in front. Dragged down. Dispossessed. Durkay rather tentative going through there, and a whistle and a ball up about 40 metres out. And the Fitzroy boys have come to play this afternoon. You always sensed during the week that was going to be the situation. Sitting back last Sunday night watching Fremantle's lamentable performance against the Crows must have made them think they were a chance today, and given the events of the week, well, they found plenty. Dwire back towards the wing. Plenty of Dockers around the ball. Jones dragged off it. Edwards smothered. This is Carter across to Primus. Primus runs through the middle, gives it to Bamford. Bamford, the speedster, running down towards centre half forward, kicks for space. Chisholm leads back, pursued by Morton. Chisholm close to the line, played it brilliantly. Great poise. Now he feeds it back to Ridley, close to the line. Todd Ridley drives around the outer side wing. Up out there was Mann. He was held without it. He'll get the free kick. Missed the mark, but was held when he hit the deck.
Bit hard to take a mark when a player's got one hand. Mann certainly made sure the umpire saw it.
Mann up towards the wing. Burton, the big reach. Gradually working the ball along the outer wing. His kick has height. Durkay couldn't complete it. Rowe to Wills. Umpires interfering here. Ball being brought back.
Didn't see the signal then, Terry. I can't tell you what that one was for.
Because the question was, well, did they have advantage or not? But regardless of that, it is now with Rowe towards Hunter. Can't complete it. Wills does the roving. The right foot rolls across the face of goals, over the line and out of bounds. So really, Fremantle struggling to get the ball into the goals. Fitzroy have had all the answers in defence so far. Fremantle another opportunity. This time it's Rowe. The snapshot falls short. Bounces awkwardly for the Fitzroy defence, and a free kick's been awarded to Malloy. Jared Malloy pushes out wide. Dent. His kick towards the centre wing. Barker has as much space as he wants. Takes his time to gather it. Looks upfield. On the left foot finds Hawking. He too uses the left foot. Centre half forward. Mellington can't keep it. It's down at ground level. It's Cassidy, the left footer. He likes it. He's gone for it. And the umpire's given it to him.
The confidence is growing as the game progresses. I mean, that was a great goal. Left foot snap. Really nothing in it, but made a goal out of it. Fitzroy players are all jubilant. They're just growing in stature as the game progresses. Once they get a sniff, it'll be really difficult to take it off them today.
Well, Fitzroy have now kicked 9 of the last 10 goals, and Dennis, that nearly constitutes a sniff.
Play restarts. Brad Cassidy with that last goal. This is Carter through the middle. Looping hand pass over the top. In trouble is Clayton. It comes back towards Norris, who slaps it back to accommodate this man. Wills. Some indecision there. the master of indecision on that run. Dwire eventually to Bandy, back to Wills, about 35 metres out. He swings towards full forward. It's bending back nicely on the breeze. Narrowly missed. Interesting, the composition of their defence at the present time, the Dockers. They've got O'Reilly on Cassidy. Now they're sorting it out, but it's cost them a goal. Ridley is back at full forward, and really they need to address the problem, or rather at full back. On the full forward, Millington, who's been a danger for them. Meantime, the ball comes in short. Over the ball is Carter, slung. Waters against the flow. Johnson slides in. Back comes Carter, ties it up. They're just getting back to Fremantle's problems, and they certainly are many, but full forward is not serving them well at the moment. Maybe Ridley down there would be a chance at getting some goals in this game, because at the moment they are really struggling. Waterhouse's hand pass goes directly up in the air. Rombotis knocks it back to Waters, down towards full forward. This will get Hunter to take a mark. You watch. No, he missed it. Back comes Malloy. He's in the back pocket, and the fullback clears once more.
Looks for and finds Mickey Dwire. Dwire just slowing things up a little at half-back. The kick is dangerously close to the line, and the boundary umpire allows Simon Hawking to take the mark. Comes inboard. Dwire, too short, son. Cassidy, Johnson on the burst. Attacks the goal. Mellington and Ridley. Ridley in front. Mellington behind. Did he touch? Rolls across the line. One behind. Johnson can attack the ball and go, John.
Certainly can, and that was a great kick too. It must have travelled about 55 metres, bounced sort of halfway into the goal square, so it had gone from well outside the 50-metre line before it touched the deck.
So Scotty Chisholm now responsible for setting up the next play. Comes up the centre of the ground. Fitzroy dominated the air. Now they're at ground level. And the free kick goes their way. Matthew Dent. Very good form in this first half. Goes wide looking for Johnson, but the kick really not in the right spot. Playing this Whitten Oval, he needed to have kept to the members' side. Edwards to Burton. O'Reilly, and really Fremantle struggling to find something that'll take them forward. O'Reilly comes directly across ground. Chisholm now has to take them on. In short to Norrish. His kick is pressurised. Durkay couldn't complete it. Pike does it at ground level to Barker. Barker finds the space he needs. Hawking in front. Jones behind, interferes. Hawking has really been very creative across half forward. Free kicks, Fitzroy 17, Fremantle 11. Cassidy. The left footer. Again to centre half forward. The spoil falls into the true attacking position for Fitzroy. Slightly members side. Johnson thinks it's one for him. Mellington takes it. Bamford finds room, straightens himself up. Kick smothered. Defensive Fremantle working overtime. Kicker breaks it out with one bounce. He now works towards Burton in the true centre half back position. His kick really up and hoping, going nowhere for the Dockers. Rowe now protected by Wills and the Shepherd. Two bounces. Three, keep going, go all the way. There's four of them inside now. The kick probing to the goal square. They need a mark. McCarthy. Well, Luke Dwire really isn't the man to be on the end of a long kick like that one, and was always going to be under a great degree of pressure.
10-4-3-8. The Dockers got their last goal at the 8-minute mark of the second term. Malloy to Bizzotto in the back pocket. And what about the last, well, 8.5 quarters now the Dockers have played in the AFL. As Bizzotto drives it along this member side wing. Dwire off hands, in trouble. Tried to go back to Carter. Leach overran it, threw it across to Waterhouse, and is duly penalised. You think back to approaching half-time against the Brisbane Bears. That was the round before last. They were cruising 5 goals in front. Terrible second half in that game. Lamentable game last week. And again, they're struggling this afternoon. So they've gone quickly off the boil. Kick it dragged out of it. Bamford beat about 3 of them. Went looking for Johnson. Waters propped in front of him. Coming through is Hawking. Held without it. He'll get the free kick inside the centre square. Chips it out wide. Cassidy. He's cutting them up. Runs inside the 50. Long, penetrating kick. It's a goal.
The way Scotty Waters hung back for that contest in the middle of the ground then is just indicative of the way the Dockers are playing. It just seems as though they're waiting for the Fitzroy players to go in and lead them to the ball, and free kicks are going their way, and the score's obviously going Fitzroy's way. The Dockers just seem that little bit hesitant. They've just got to get at the footy first.
Cassidy, his second goal, both in this quarter. Fitzroy now by 44 points. Brad Cassidy with his second goal for the quarter. Toya, hard-working rover, pushes his side forward. Will's left-hand flick, but only to Martin Pike. Dent. Been cool in its crisis all day. An undisciplined play there by Chisholm. Advantage given Johnson. Morton. Anything you want, boy. He's got it. It's home.
Just another example, Terry. Scotty Chisholm led to the ball, had no other option but to try to get away with infringing on the player. Detected by the umpire, advantage call, and Morton runs in and kicks an easy goal. Well, not that it was an easy goal. It was certainly a straight one with the win, but travelled about 40 or 50. But Fitzroy players are just leading their opponents to the ball and have done so for, if not all of this game, the most of it so far.
Well, there's certainly something special happening on the terraces. Primus attacks the ball again. Dwyer's the first one in. Ball spills free now to Leach. Needs to set something up for his side. Mann has been well held by McCarthy all day. Leach comes forward again. He won't give anything up too readily at all. Comes back for a third time. Fitzroy stay persistent in the contest. In most of the occasions, they've just kept the ball alive, either by quick hands or short kicks. This time it's Bizzotto, pushes it out wide, looking for something. Kick it, goes to the ground. Hawking just claims the jumper. And the anguish all over Kickett's face. Hawking, unfortunately, not taking advantage of it, and O'Reilly at centre half back. Pushes towards the defensive side. Peter Mann involved in an altercation early in the game with Holmes. His kick to Burton. Burton can't complete the mark. Will's at ground level. Getting a lot of ball in those contests, Wills, but really the ball not going on with much efficiency further on the ground, and at long last, Kingsley Hunter takes one.
He'll kick from right on the 50. An interesting edge to the celebrations here at the present time. Almost an air of defiance amongst the crowd. The drought, one senses, about to break. It's been raining Fitzroy goals in this term. Hunter with other ideas. Slides it right across the face. Very hard to kick them from there. Down in front, Rowe was held without it. He'll get the free kick. So Brad Rowe. Sharp angle, but he can run around and open it up slightly. Just checking on the man on the mark. They're down 12-4 to 3-8. That's the situation from deep in the left full forward pocket. Brad Rowe spent some time at Brisbane, at Collingwood, kicks hard through the ball and gets a Docker goal. No. Well, he thought it was. I've got to say, so did I. Had a pretty good angle on that one. When things aren't happening, they don't happen. Malloy down the middle. Barker's in front. Up he goes at the second attempt. Takes the mark. Play on's the call. Gets it away quickly to Dent, who miscues. Not a good effort. Comes to Leach. He's forward of the wing. He's been trying hard. Quinton Leach sends it back inside the attacking 50. Up goes McCarthy, the only man who really wanted the ball. Rowe working under the pack. a whistle and a ball up about 40 metres out. So the margin at 49 points. It was 28 at half-time. Mann props in front, wins it down decisively, but to no one in particular. Wills tries to soccer off the ground. Meantime, it's going to be a Lion free kick. It will be taken by Clayton, who swings it out wide, intended for Primus. He's taken the mark on his chest at right half-back.
The big man uses the right foot, not as effectively as what he'd want. Fitzroy claiming and over the line on the full against Jones. The boundary umpire in the best position says no, we will throw it in. Primus and Burton again. Rombotis at the back. Which has been a very good performance from Rombotis. Another knock to the head this week, a severe gash. But really it doesn't quell his enthusiasm and an energy at the ball. Leach out to Edwards, couldn't handle it when he should have. He's back again, his handball back to Kickett. Kickett steps through some traffic into space. 2 bounces now, the little give to Waters. Waters back to Kickett. To centre half forward now. Long front position was held by Toy, but it's Malloy who just cleans up ever so efficiently. Pike knocking up, getting kicks across half back. Well blocked there by Primus. Carter takes hold of it and away they go. Johnson with 1 bounce. He's approaching the 50-metre line now. He's inside it. He settles. He shoots. He's offline.
Almost from the same spot he kicked his earlier goal from, Terry, but on the run made it a bit more difficult. It just looks so decisive when they go into the forward line, Fitzroy, as compared with Fremantle. When they get it up in the forward line, there just doesn't seem to be a pattern to it. It's almost just bomb it into the goal square and hope.
They've been very proppy right throughout Fremantle. O'Reilly again holding up, showing some degree of frustration, calling his players towards him. The kick doesn't even reach them. McGregor couldn't complete it. Kickett continues to work hard at ground level. His kick doesn't find the one he wanted. He was looking for Waterhouse, but Nick Carter chops in. He's keen to drive it in long. Ridley's in the front position. Mellington allows it to go to the back. Johnson will get his 3rd. He has.
Johnson just mopped up really well, and he knew that the ball was likely to go over the back of the pack and was ready waiting for it when it did. Just playing with a lot more confidence now, Fitzroy, and as the game progresses, it's just growing more and more.
Chris Johnson, the leading goal kicker with Fitzroy last year, opened the season in the back pocket and showed fine form there, but allowed now to go back into the forward line. A goal in the first quarter and 2 in this 3rd.
So the margin now out to 56 points. Burton and Primus will do battle. Good bounce too. Burton taps it down. Norrish. The hand pass virtually straight up in the air. Waters concedes some ground. This is Chisholm. They're back at centre half back despite winning the ball out of the middle, if that makes sense. Kickett goes in short. Toya's got it. Toya swings it out wide, running on down the ground. This is Chisholm. Carries it towards right half forward. Low trajectory kick in towards Hunter, who controlled it very well close to the ground. He's 40 metres out. The kick not particularly good. Tailor-made for Mann, though. Worked himself under the ball, but was held. Well, that's interesting. Advantage has been paid, and they've kicked the goal. Andrew Wills gets it. It was going to be Mann's free kick. And that was even a tough break for the Lions there, because Mann really worked himself out of the contest. He misjudged the ball in flight. An awkward one, certainly. It goes straight up in the air. Now Mann in best position there. Wanted front position, which was right. He camped himself about 5 metres from where the ball pitched, but as we saw, a clear free kick.
So Andrew Wills picks up his 2nd goal. Matches his best performance to date. Big men go back at it again. Quick hands. Fitzroy, Carter to Rombotis. Neat little sidestep. Kick not as good as what he would want. Mellington and Ridley, they've been at it from about halfway through the first quarter. Stephen O'Reilly opened at fullback, but Mellington started in full flight. Ridley has gone back to try and quell it, but really Mellington has, I think, been the difference between the two. He's given his side a real focal point at full forward. Bandy brings it back over the back dangerously. Rombotis is there. His kick slung Dwire off the ground. Just the one behind him, Mick. 10 years of service at St Kilda. Some 80-odd games there and across the Fitzroy this year, and really bringing a wealth of experience to what is quite a young side, Fitzroy. Chisholm's kick in allows Bandy to run onto it, but he was unable to take advantage of it. Primus blocks for McGregor, who goes for Carter, who gets the free kick. Nick Carter, 11 kicks and 9 handballs. Towards centre half forward, it didn't reach Mellington. Waters dropping back. Waters in the return game after some time out with a calf injury, finds O'Reilly. Really, he hasn't given any flow across half-back. Each time Stephen O'Reilly's got the ball, he's propped. And Fitzroy have been able to take front position in the next contest, as they've done on this occasion. Clayton got it to Barker. Barker now off Waterhouse's Rombotis. His forward handball to Johnson. Following on is Carter. Kick number 13 is a good one. Not good enough.
It's another difference in the forward thrust, Terry. I mean, Fitzroy just seemed to be able to steady, whereas Fremantle are just under pressure and just have to bomb it in. Fitzroy seemed to have plenty of time.
Kick it short to the pocket. Comes back across the ground. This is Jones approaching three-quarter time. Fitzroy 13-7. Lead Fremantle 4-9. O'Reilly does well. Pay the mark. It is. After 21 consecutive defeats, Fitzroy with a chance to win one here. You would say gilt-edged, but I suppose given their record, you just can't say that. It's a game that they've got to win, but they've taken a massive step towards that result. Here's O'Reilly down towards half forward. Dockers not playing well. Hunter was up, waiting in front. McCarthy dragged off it. Mann knocks it down to the advantage of Wills. He's outside the 50. Comes back. Bacon goal square. Turns the defence around. Going back down there is Paxman. He played it very well, conceding some height to Burton, but always shielding the ball with his body and able to concede just the behind. 4-10, 13-7. There's the time remaining. And Malloy, who's been very steady, looked all at sea last week at full-back, but a different player today. Buzzotto in the back pocket, running up towards half-back, kicks towards the wing. O'Reilly. In fact, it's Jones who knocked it down. Toya got a hand to it. Dwire had it, then lost it. It spills wide of the pack. Clayton sends it out wide and quick towards the boundary line. It runs across. Scott Chisholm, part of a beleaguered defence this afternoon. They've worked overtime at either end, despite what the Breeze may have been doing. Terms in this game dictated by the Lions. Primus goes after it again, crashing in. Toya, nicely done. Kick it across to Edwards. That's better. Edwards running away from half-back, goes to Mann on the outer side. Peter Mann throws it on the boot down towards half forward in front row. Now, time is the enemy. We're down to just over 20 seconds. He centers the ball. It's a 50-50 ball, and Malloy wanted it most. He had the bulk too. Collides with Mann, but got it to Bamford. Coming through Rombotis. He's been a very effective player. Back it comes to Malloy. Looping hand pass releases McCarthy. McCarthy, a low one down towards half forward, stretching back. Leach takes the mark. Coming up to three-quarter time, the last action of the term. Godden marks on the wing, and there's celebrations at Whitten Oval. After a trying week, the Lions now and their faithful could be forgiven for thinking they're just half an hour away from breaking the drought. In control of this game, it's 13-7 to 4-10. Still no real celebrations amongst the players. It's business as usual, and it's got to be that way. And the defence, when tested in that term, stood up very nicely for the Lions, but generally it was their midfield that has made life so difficult for these Dockers. And maybe the cordial will give way to something a little stronger very shortly. Three-quarter time, Fitzroy 13-7, Fremantle 4-10. Well, almost. It was the 20th. We won't be sticklers, though. That's close enough. A sense of occasion starting the final term. Fitzroy working into a slight breeze, but with a commanding lead. Primus goes up. Rombotis wins the ball. Puts it down towards half forward. Chisholm's in the road. Chisholm across the ground towards the wing. Pitches in no man's land. Clayton dragged down there by Edwards. Leach, good hand pass into space. This is Rowe. Rowe at right half back, goes down towards the pocket. Another right half forward. It bounces out of bounds in front of Hunter and will be thrown in. Just thinking this ground will always have a place in the hearts of the Dockers faithful. They won their very first game of football here against Fitzroy. And I guess this is returning the favour, so to speak, after all those losses. Fitzroy, a chance to beat the Dockers in a game they will well remember, as Boyd, or rather Rowe, kicks out of the congestion and kicks a great goal.
Tap by Burton found Rowe right on the button, and Rowe has converted it into a goal for Fremantle. So maybe this can sound the sign of the Fremantle Dockers coming back and really joining the contest.
So Brad Rowe picks up a very belated goal for the Fremantle side. Much has to be done now, even though they have the assistance of the breeze. Fitzroy very, very committed in the early stages here. Dent barging his way through, has been awarded the free kick. The defence of Fitzroy has been very strong. Dent, Pike, Malloy probing forward this time. Chisholm across the body. Clayton in front of Wills, and Primus does the roving. Back to Clayton. He in turn to Carter. Carter squeezes one to Primus. Primus on. They've found Bamford on the run in front and just misses. Nick Carter there playing his third game. One of 5 first-year players in the side here for Fitzroy this afternoon. Another first-year player, Luke Toya, takes the kick in, drives towards the wing where Mann and McCarthy are out of the game. Barker does the crumbing, pushes in towards centre half forward. Hawking couldn't complete it under the pressure of the Dockers defence. Waterhouse to Waters, pressure. Banfield wrapped up by Toya. 2 fine young players. Banfield, the South Australian. Toya from Kalgoorlie country, Western Australia. Bandy in front position at the bounce. McCarthy just feeds it over, looking for ground, but Waters takes what comes his way into the forward line. Hunter off the ground, slips it and slips it through. Hunter's second goal off the ground to match his one in the first.
Good skills by Kingsley Hunter, because the ball wasn't actually on the ground, it was bouncing, so certainly intended to kick it through. It was a great effort. But just another example of Fremantle not having any pattern when they go deep into their forward line. The ball was just bombed into that top of the goal square area.
So Kingsley Hunter, his second goal. Hunter's second goal for Fremantle. Takes the ball back to the centre, but Primus combines with Dwire to push the ball forward. Ridley meets it, kicks it in the air, buys some ground, but Carter chops it off, feeds it in, and the umpire's called him for throwing. Ridley takes the free kick towards the outer side of the Whitten Oval. Carter now comes back to take what he should have got in the first occasion. Inside, oh, Mellington just better judgment. Jones and Ridley were in there as the opponents. Mellington looking to get the ball going quickly, but the umpire blowing time on. And here really just standing his ground, and Ridley went over just far too easily. Mellington 3 goals for the afternoon. 3 goals straight. Deliberately in. Falls a little bit away on the kick and hits the behind post.
It's one of the few occasions when you can say Todd Ridley hasn't really made an issue of the contest. He's competed really hard with Malloy all day, and that time just caught out of position and went to ground early.
Chisholm kicks in, finds Wills. He's at right half back, takes off, has a bounce through the wing. His second bounce down towards half forward, kicks well inside the 50. Quick transference of play over the top. Paxman, Hunter down in front. This is Rowe shooting at his second of the term. Well, getting back, Gotten's taken the mark only a couple of metres out, and probably would have been better advised to let it go, depending on the angle he cops here. It's going to be quite sharp for the right footer. The umpire insisting he come around a long way. Oh, well, actually, that's not too bad given where he finds himself. I thought the umpire was beckoning further. Gotten pops it through, so the result's the same. And Fremantle enjoying their best patch of the game.
Certainly seemed to have upped the tempo a bit, Dennis. Rowe's kick into the goal square then was certainly, they're competing at every contest now, whereas earlier they were being led to the ball most of the time. And it's 2 or 3 goals at the start of this last quarter. Might sign a bit of a comeback.
So the margin is 35 points. Just a little self-doubt, some nervous barracking around us, trying to get Fitzroy up. They've still got a commanding lead. Chisholm left it behind. But bear in mind, they haven't won for so long. Johnson held a long time. No free kick. Primus cleverly gets it away. This is Pike. Nicely done. Kicks it down towards half forward. Cassidy, who is very good in the third term, has taken this mark about 60 metres out. Kicks to a one-out contest. Barker and Edwards. Edwards cleverly comes away now. Suddenly, ball running the legs of these Dockers. That appeared to be a throw from Mann. Must have been a hand pass because the umpire was only about 5 metres away. Toya was dragged down and he's penalised, and the kick will go to Morton.
Great chase from Danny Morton. His kick now right onto the edge of the 50-metre zone. O'Reilly takes it, plays on. Initially by faking the handball, and now by the left foot kick to kick it. His kick right there towards Hunter, over his head. Rowe, the left foot, peels it around, this time offline. 1 goal, 3 to Brad Rowe. Coming into the side. 1 of 3 changes from the selected Fremantle side. Jared Malloy, the Fitzroy fullback, brings the ball back into play, and Carter. 24 disposals to Nick Carter. Pike's 10th kick, not a good one at all.
It's getting a little nervous here, though, isn't it? Another quick goal for the Dockers, and the game will be on because there's still plenty of time.
Waterhouse's kick probes in there, but Fitzroy resolute in defence here through Bamford. His kick falling short of Cassidy. Dwire now with space. 1 bounce on the outer wing. Chisholm. Just that little bit of judgment over Morton and a little extra skill with the left hand. O'Reilly picking up a lot of possessions across half-back. Peter Mann kicks to where perhaps he should be at centre half forward. Dale Kickett's playing across there now, but Dent combining with McCarthy. He finds Rombotis. Rombotis steps around. He's got as much space on with Chris Johnson. But Johnson just props there, just holds up that little bit. Looking for Zane. Oh, tries to take Riley on through the legs. Oh, no way, Chris, not at all well done. But now it's Dwire to Hawking. Hawking's kick floating across the contest. Mellington can't take it. Ridley in front, should perhaps get the free kick, but no. The ball up will occur, and Chris Johnson in all sorts of trouble back here with an undescribable move trying to get around the man on the mark.
Meantime, a behind.
He was put under a bit of pressure there, Terry, because he actually faked a handball to the right-hand side and was called to play on, and it took some time before the player on the mark realised. As soon as the player on the mark realised, then Johnson was under all sorts of pressure.
So the margin is 35 points. Just under 13 minutes to go. If the Dockers, kicking with the breeze, can get the next goal and quickly, suddenly the margin inside 30 points. Burton feeds it out wide for Toya. Great desperation by Dent, who was grabbed by the leg. Advantage is paid. He gets it to Dwire. Peeling off is Hawking. He wants it short. He's got it. He's right on the 50. Man on in the pocket. He goes to Johnson. And Johnson's marked. Sharp angle. About 5 metres in from the line. Well, a very important kick, this one. It's a long way from home, but you get the feeling they're just doubting themselves, and a goal could rubber stamp a victory right here. And Johnson's been a very good player. He's booted 3, just up after getting hit hard. What will he do? Sharp angle, misses to the near side. So the margin is 6 goals. Just over 12 minutes remaining in the game. Got
Great
to relate. Sorry, John.
Sorry, Dennis. Great kick by Hawking to find Johnson then. Hawking's worked hard all day. He's had 18 possessions to date.
Got to relate. No celebrations quite yet. Ball close to the boundary line. O'Reilly kicks for distance down towards the wing. It pitches just inside the boundary line. Barker comes up to meet it. The ball spills out. So a throw in.
So Fremantle really now down to their last real push. 12 minutes into the quarter. 6 goals to be made up. And Fitzroy really something in their sights here, so I don't think they're going to give it up too readily. What is the tireless worker in close? Rombotis in there. Besieged by the Fremantle players. The umpire allows it to go. Quinton Leach bounces inside the 50-metre zone. Handballs over the top to Hunter. Hunter back to Mann. Clayton's got him. Bizzotto gives the clean-up work. Pressure from the Fremantle forwards. It's free there for McCarthy, and he takes no risks.
Pretty tight-knit unit, that Fitzroy defence. I mean, they're working really hard every time the ball comes down onto the Fremantle forward line.
Barker receives the kickoff, takes the one bounce, uses the left foot. Primus, good body work, gathers it, gives it to the quicker Bamford. Bamford on. Hawking couldn't quite handle it. Give it back to the runner, and so he does. 2 bounces from Bamford. The left foot perfectly placed. Mellington couldn't complete it. Takes it on the bounce, finds the room, puts it through. Mellington 4.
I think that's the one they needed, Terry. You can see them all pretty pleased about the way things are panning out now. The 14-minute mark of the last quarter. As you called it earlier, I think they probably doubted themselves at the beginning of this last quarter, but now that they've kicked that one, I think they feel a bit more comfortable. There's a bit of breathing space for them.
Fremantle, the 4 goals in the game leading up to that one. Mellington breaks the ice for the Roys.
They knew it. A sense of relief spilling over on the terraces and on the ground. 14-11, 7-12. Burton goes up, thumps it down. Johnson, the look away hand pass. Bamford, an exciting young talent. McCarthy had it too long. Mann wants to go. Will be called back. Not his to take. Toya kicks it out wide, intended for Hunter. Fisted away by Malloy, who's been the master there. And the ball run across the boundary line by Leach. So the margin was 20 points at quarter time, 28 at the half, 51 at 3/4 time. Thrown in just outside the attacking 50 for the Dockers. Mann only as far as Dwire. Malloy gets it over the top. Pike and very steady. Little chip pass across the goal face. Paxman is there. Bandy did well to get it on the ground. Falling to the ground. Paxman back to Pike. Pike involved earlier. Storms around the outer side. Runs past half-back. Kicks towards the wing. Hawking, was he held? Not according to the umpire. Chisholm to Waters. He's forward of the wing. Back come the Dockers. Good kick. This is Mann just outside the 50. Involved in an incident with Darren Holmes in the opening term. Forced Holmes from the ground. And Mann, that is a big kick. That is a very good kick. It's a goal.
I think Scotty Waters is enjoying his return to this game. He's had 17 kicks to date in his 100th game of AFL footy, and certainly picked out Peter Mann then with that precision kick into the centre-half forward position, and that's an indication of just how strong the breeze is. Mann had no trouble making the distance with that kick from 55-odd metres out.
So Mann's first goal for the afternoon closes the gap to 35. .35 points the margin. Fitzroy working extremely hard in here, but the Dockers not prepared to concede just yet. Toya squeezes one through there. Hunter wheels around on the right as much time as he wants to settle and straighten. He goes for it. He's got it. And the Dockers not taking it lying down. The centre bounce ever critical.
We've spoken a fair bit about the strength of this Fitzroy backline today, but when they get first use of the ball out of the centre as a result of Burton's tap out, then it's pretty tough for the defenders to do much about it. So that was certainly the most decisive move forward we've seen from the Fremantle Dockers to date.
Kingsley Hunter, his third straight.
I think Burton struggled a bit with the mobility of Primus, but as the game progresses, maybe the gap will narrow down a bit.
So the two big men are ready to go at it again. Neither a clear hit out. Ball spills towards the wing. Edwards in strong. Dwire in. Bamford with the space. Dent just keeping the ball in play. Makes ground. Oh, Edwards after play. Edwards bowls him over after the kick had been delivered, so the ball will be relayed all the way to Anthony Mellington. In actual fact, the umpire, very strong words there to Scotty Edwards. But the ball now with Anthony Mellington. 4 goals, 5 goals.
Terry, the umpire's actually reported Edwards for that tackle on Dent. Just advised Dent that the report has been made, and Dent's acknowledged it. So,
and how would that be defined? A striking report?
I think, well, it looked as though the only thing it could have been would have been a striking report.
Amazing. Scott Edwards on report. They've got it down under 30, the Dockers, but then gave away the relayed free kick. Here's McCarthy, claimed by Mann. Bamford went down solidly. Coming through Johnson, who's been very good this afternoon. Kick it. Had it for a while. Wills hurriedly onto the boot. A very high one down towards half forward. They come from all directions. Waiting down is Rowe. Oh, very wayward kick from Brad Rowe. A little rusty at this level, out of bounds on the full in the right full forward pocket, but he's been dangerous in this term.
Certainly been the opportunist, Dennis, but he just tried to kick the leather off the footy on that occasion and lost the accuracy.
15-11, 9-12. Fitzroy controlling the game. And now time, their ally as well. Just over 8 minutes remaining. Malloy, it's going to be a long 8 minutes. Pack into the air, it falls in front. Bizzotto trying to crash his way through, did very well. Found the boundary line, that will do. Clock does stop at 8:05. Well, what's 8:05 after a year? May 20th, their last victory, round 8 against the Adelaide Crows at Footy Park. And now they're on the verge. Burton gets a free kick, though, against Primus. He's about 60 metres out. The Dockers do have the breeze. It's worth a few. He sets it up very high. Bandy kept out of the contest. Going back, Malloy got a hand to it. That was good enough. Pike grabs it, kicks towards the outer side. Carter leads in the race, and he's been very good. Durkay traps it. Durkay does nicely. O'Reilly slipped over. Slaps it goalward in turn. Picked up by Norris, who pokes it inside the 50. Hunter missed it. Rose got it. 35 metres out. Pulls it back. Too much. Behind.
Just under 7.5 minutes left. Malloy, the kick in this time doesn't find Bamford, but Wills couldn't take the mark that perhaps he should have. And Bamford, with the opportunity to dive back in there, goes in. There's been a lot to like about Fitzroy's effort today. In particular, the performance of many of their young players. Bamford, Nick Carter, Shane Clayton, all have contributed well. John McCarthy in his 150th game. The rookies trying to combine once again. Rombotis does the right thing for the boundary umpire. 34 points now, Fitzroy. Man downed. Waters high. Front position to the Dockers. And the umpire will award one that way. Jared Malloy can't believe it. Big Daniel Bandy. Three talls, Bandy, Burton and Hines, really haven't had the opportunity to influence this game. And in actual fact, still probably haven't.
And Primus has done the majority of the work for Fitzroy too, so he's done a great job today.
Malloy this time to himself. Has the kick then extend right outside 50. The big athletic Matthew Primus takes it on. Carries it on, pushing and shoving another 30 metres. He's made it to the wing. Assistance from Cassidy. Now inside to Dwire. He's got the space. Rombotis, who's controlled the centre of the ground, to Mellington. Yes! Anthony Mellington. Not a name that would run off the tip of your tongue at full forward, but his performance 2 weeks ago in the reserves gave the Fitzroy hierarchy some degree of faith in his ability there when he kicked 9. 2 goals for last week. Perhaps the questions were going to be asked, but now shooting for his 6th goal. And the crowd like what they've seen.
It's a player with confidence. All of his Fitzroy teammates have come in to congratulate him. It's a great effort today because Todd Ridley, as we said earlier, has been competitive all day, and it's been a bit of a dilemma for Jared Neesham because I'm sure he'd prefer to have Todd Ridley up on the forward line, but he has been doing such a good job on Mellington that he's just had to persist with him down on the back end.
Well, they can afford to smile now. The Lions are home. And the monkey is off their back. Waters does nicely alongside the centre circle. Kicks well inside the 50. Hunter was in front. Roving the pack is Rowe, who runs into a teammate as he releases the ball and misses again. But heartening signs from Brad Rowe. He's kicked 1-5, but he's been very lively after missing a lot of footy. So something perhaps out of the wreckage, but it's all Fitzroy, and the celebrations only about 5 minutes away now. Here's Barker, left half back, and you've got to feel for these players. They've been through so much, many of them. They're in for the long haul. They've had a series of defeats, and they've earned their moment in the sun. Here's Johnson. Is at left half back, kicks through the wing, tailor-made there for Jones, who completely misjudged it. Hawking over Chisholm's head. Dwire, very fickle bounce. Waters away to Burton, looping hand pass. Durkee has to wait. Dent almost got him. This is Godden up through the centre. Godden towards half forward and Wills turns around, confronted by a helmet and John McCarthy, not necessarily in that order. Mann gives it across to Godden, who goes from 40 metres out and kicks a goal. His second. And the Dockers continue to come.
A little bit too little too late now, Dennis. Dockers walking around with their hands on their hips. See Matthew Burton in the centre of the ground waiting for the centre bounce, and really looks a bit disheartened about it all. As you say, something to come out of today, though, has been Brad Rowe's performance. He's had 6 shots at goal and only been able to convert with 1 of them, but certainly had a lot of the ball, and if he can convert some of those opportunities into major scores, then it's great.
Back to the centre bounce there. Pushing it out. Durkee from the outside the centre circle. Probing it into the forward line. Paxman in front. Releases the pressure there. Morton a little give to Pike. Pike's kick on up towards Carter. Umpire calls it back. Carter's free kick. What a game from Nick Carter. Only his 3rd game. 28 disposals, 6 marks. Teams with Pike to Hawking to Bamford. They've controlled the use of the ball. Their foot disposal has been very accurate. Handballing has been sharp, and their commitment to run on support has been definitely the difference between the two sides. Martin Pike taking a heap of time, but so well he might. His kick to the top of the square. It's Primus and Burton. Burton the spoil. Falls down. Durkee couldn't take it. Jones is there to assist him in clean-up. Mann receives the handball. His give on to Leach. Again they stop. Push wide. O'Reilly, it's too good for him. It's over the top. Fitzroy rebound through Barker. On the left foot. Rombotis just allowing it to play in front of him. Kickett's the one there, but it's gone over the line. Dale Kickett just limping away from the contest. Tough day at the office for him. Primus and Burton again. Burton just a little drop down to the right. It stays in the contest. Now Kickett clears it by hand to O'Reilly. He on to Jones. Jones is long. Toya's in there. His spoil gives him a chance, but McCarthy at ground level to Barker. They've gone straight across the ground, and Malloy out from fullback for a little bit of a run around now. The left-hand give onto Paxman. Paxman further on the kick, not quite good, and O'Reilly cleans up there at centre half back. His left foot goes on. Hunter a long way out from goal. Marks, and Pike covers him.
Hunter, who's booted 3, goes short. This is Godden down towards half forward. So inside the last 2 minutes, Godden across the ground. Toya from behind. Couldn't complete the mark. Young Clayton heads for the boundary line. Worked out of it by Toya. Still he goes. Toya dragged down. Well done by Bamford. Back comes Clayton again. All the youngsters involved there, and eventually it's going to be a free kick to the Lions. A couple of the young Lions working overtime. 16-11 to 10-15. Their last win came in round 8 last season. And on that anniversary, they're set to win again. Dent through the middle, down towards half forward. Chisholm comes at the ball, completely misjudged it. Malloy's got it. Dwire runs on. He's inside the 50. On in the middle is Johnson. He pulls it back for Johnson. Too much carry, and Ridley comes up to take the mark. Well, they're still going to win. Kickett gets it across towards Leach. Leach at half back. Nicely done. Great evasion. Leach comes away. It's been a handy player for the Dockers. He runs through the wing. High kick down towards half forward. Inside the last minute now. The wait almost over. It's about to become official. Bizzotto across the ground. Fitting they finish up with the ball too. Paxman's got it. We're down to 35 seconds. Paxman runs it out. Kicks very wide. And a man who set the standard early goes after it. Rombotis, but he fell over. Hunter as a result, the easy ball to Bandy. Down to 20 seconds. 16-11, 10-15. The Dockers won their first game against Fitzroy in the AFL on this ground. And now another landmark. This time, one that Fitzroy will savour. Long towards full forward, off hands. In goes Rowe. On his knees down there, Clayton. There's the siren. You can forget the second siren, I think, if you have snuck on. They have spilled out onto this ground in a show of emotion that has certainly been building up for 12 months.
This is sensational. Look at them.
They had their doubts early in that final term. You could sense it. They just kept showing Fremantle that the door was ajar, but Fremantle certainly not good enough to take advantage of it. And now it's celebration time. I'm not sure what it means in the overall. You get the feeling perhaps a deal has been done, but if these players had to make a statement, they've stood up this afternoon at the Whitten Oval and said what they had to say with their actions.
It's been a very fine performance right throughout, John, hasn't it? From one end of the ground with Jared Malloy controlled the back right through the centre of the ground to Mellington at full forward.
It's almost an endless list. You know, you've got Bamford, McCarthy, Carter, Pike, Johnson, Hawking, Malloy, Mellington and Primus all putting in great games. And when you consider the last 3 or 4 weeks that these players have had to go through, it's just a real credit to them that they were able to remain focused on the task today.
And down amongst the celebrations, Neil Curley. Neil?
Yeah, it's pretty hard that is, but John, great way to celebrate 150 games.
Well, I couldn't have thought of it having it any better way. You know, we had a pretty tough week this week, as you can imagine, and just to get up and do that was just one way of really showing the Fitzroy supporters what we're all about. But there is a bit of emotion in this club after all.
A lot of team commitment today. A lot of boys really put their body on the line for you.
Oh, look, there were some great efforts from very young blokes out there. I mean, Nick Carter was probably one of them. Absolutely magnificent game. I mean, his ball skills are sensational today. Shane Clayton as well, off the back line there, played a very, you know, it was like he had an old head on his shoulders. It was fantastic.
You're going to have a great night tonight. You're going to enjoy it. Well done.
Well, thanks.
Thank you, Dennis.
Yes, thanks, Neil. A man who's been around a while. Started at North Melbourne, the former Tasmanian, John McCarthy. Had a bit to say last year when things turned sour with this club. And I suppose now enjoying the moment and feeling vindicated.
Nice way to come back for your 150th. I couldn't think of a better way.
I guess this is what it's all about. Football is very much an emotional thing. We spoke of that earlier in the day. And here's a club with almost the last drop of blood squeezed out of it. The talk is that there will be a merger. Despite the denials, it seems to be that people think it's a done deal. Well, there is some defiance out here.
Even if the deal is done, Dennis, I mean, today they've really got a lot to be proud of. The players stood up, they remained focused on the task, and Fremantle were no easy beats after the pounding they got from Adelaide last week. So full credit to the players. They've been able to withstand all of the pressure that's been put on them off the field and come out here and show the football public exactly what they're made of on the best possible field.
Yes, I get the feeling, and I got the feeling in the week leading up, the Dockers didn't realise how tough this was going to be, and it was beyond them at the end. They lost by 31 points. Fitzroy, their first win in a year, their first win in 22 games. They're home, 16-11 to 10-16.